I'm Benedicta, and this is Behind the Business podcast. Although your wage appears to be increasing numbers-wise, in value-wise, it's not, right? It's actually going backwards.
I would like to just continue offering as much value as I can, reach as many people as possible.
Yep. And I have with me today the very first guest, Mr. Should I say the first name?
Sure.
Because we were just talking about it.
Go for it.
Timi, or Timi, as many people know him, Merriman Johnson. And I also know that his other name is Daniel. I don't know if you like that.
No one calls me that apart from banks and official people.
So we won't call him Daniel, but yes, Mr. Merriman Johnson, and also known as Mr. Money Jar. Oh my God, so excited to have you. We have been in the same kind of space, online, virtually, and then physically for what, probably about, I think 4 years, like online, lockdown-ish kind of time. And then last year we started doing a few more events where we got to meet each other physically. And now, yes, Mr. Money Jar is here as the first guest on my podcast. And I'm so excited to have him here. For those of you who don't know, he is an award-winning, yes, I said award-winning content creator, finance content creator. And he has been on TV many times, BBC, Sky, where else?
ITV
News, yep. And I'm sure many other places. And of course, he does lots of events, speaking engagements. But yes, in particular, the first time I came across Timi was online on Instagram. And in terms of his content, it is amazing. I remember the first ever time I saw your page, I'm like, oh, this guy has taken, what do you call it? Posts to a whole new level. Like, you have an eye for detail. You have a way of putting your information together. But in your own words, tell us what Mr. Money Jar is about, what you do, and why you do it.
Thank you for the lovely introduction, Benedicta.
You're blushing.
I am. Underneath all of this, I'm blushing. Am I allowed to say that you're my accountant as well? Can we say that?
Up to you.
No conflict of it. Yeah.
It's your information.
You've been instrumental in my business journey and continue to be. And your advice, both on and off the spreadsheet, is really valued by me. So thank you for having me on the show. Mr. Money Jar is all about making financial education accessible to people, because not everyone has the opportunity to learn about this stuff at home or at school. And I know that money can be quite a scary topic for people, quite a taboo topic. So the whole purpose of how I do things is about taking my financial knowledge, so the stuff that I know, and taking things that I know that other people know, and then shoehorning the finance into it. So that's where like the Pringles and the Nando's post come from. That's where, the stand-up comes from. All the things I'm doing are just ways of tricking people into learning about money and finding it interesting.
I like that, tricking people into learning about money.
Yeah.
And you do it so well. Like you said, Timi will literally use Pringles to tell you about finances, Cadbury's, Mr.
There's a lot of chocolate for some
There's
reason.
a lot of chocolate. Mr. Moneyman, you've done Mr. Men, have you?
Mr. Men. Well, it's one of my aspirations to become one of the Mr. Men. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
After that, I can just stop.
Hashtag whoever is in charge of that,
Yeah.
please. And you've done so many, but like the title of the podcast says, this is Behind the Business. Like I said, we've known each other for some time, and I know, like you said, because of our conversations, that there are many things that look so glamorous on the outside. And don't get me wrong, loads of followers, engagement, TV invites, and all of that. It looks amazing, and it is probably great, and I'm sure it's paying the bills. So from that front, it's really good. But we know, as business owners, and of course with BeniRatio Finances, I know that there is a whole load of stuff that happens behind the scenes that is like not so glamorous, and that I think that we would like to, that I would like anyway to shed light on. And this is not to discourage people. For me, I definitely think that everyone should be encouraged to having a business, even if it's not formal and it's not massive, but for me, a business is another stream of income. I'm
of
sure
course.
we all talk about, multiple streams of income. So the same way you think about having, shares, or dividends or whatever, or investments, property, etc., in addition to your 9 to 5, I think everybody should also have a business as another stream. So I would always encourage people, but I also want to talk about the realities. I'm a realist, right? I want to talk about the realities of running a business, and specifically for you, how you have found doing it on your own, As someone who is a single founder, single founder, you are the brand. So it's not like there's a partnership going on. And also someone who's not working 9 to 5. So, you are basically doing this on your own. How is like running your business affected you or not affected you from a mental point of view, from a relationship point of view? What are the pluses and the negatives?
Yeah, there's so much to talk about when it comes to this. What I'll start off by saying is that I'm fundamentally very grateful to be in the position that I'm in. When you work in social media, when you work in business, there's always the temptation to compare yourself to other people. How much money are other people making? How many followers do other people have? What are other people in my industry doing? And I do that sometimes. I think that human nature makes you want to compare yourself to other people. But a rule that I also have when it comes to comparison is that you should only compare yourself to someone if you're willing to trade places with them entirely. All like the good and all of the bad.
Wow.
And if you actually look at what's going on in other people's lives in totality, or the things that they're showing you, you'll realize that being you is hard enough work and you should just
stick to it.
Yeah. So I actually compare myself now to Timi 3, 4, 5 years ago. And I can actually do that to quite a granular level of detail because I've kept a journal for about 6 years now.
Wow.
It's on my phone, and it will also send me throwback entries to things that I wrote that day, how many years in the past. So I'm now getting throwback entries from 2016.
Wow.
If you told 2016 Timi that I would have been on television, that I would have been verified on like social media, that I would have over 10k followers, or like all of these things, like his head top would have just come off completely. So I'm very, very grateful. And then not only that, but I have a business that allows me to pay myself, allows me to help out my friends and family, and is still generating money. Every time a new booking comes in, I'm like, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm like, really? This is still working? Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, and I did an event last night, and I was on stage in an auditorium, and I was talking about pensions, and I just had to pinch myself a little bit and say, I'm at work. This is work. This is my job.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
So I'm very grateful. That doesn't mean that everything is good all the time, of course. So yes, I've been completely alone this entire time, up until recently. And if you look at like the word company, like you're supposed to be working with other people. Right, so something about me is that I have a background in financial research and financial PR. Like I've been doing this for 10 years. I didn't just start making infographics out the blue. I used to run a graphic design business when I was at uni.
Really?
So what I'm doing now is a culmination of all the work I've done up until this point and all the stuff I've learnt by working with other people. I've had some really influential managers in the past that have taught me how to research stuff, how to use spreadsheets and so on. But I don't have that now. And that is a huge blind spot to me. I'm aware of the fact that like, if I'm not continually having conversations with people, if I'm not reading stuff, then I'm actually moving sideways in my personal development. And I am keen to get into, like, I'm just constantly having conversations with people to try and learn. I learn a lot from you in the conversations that we have. But I'm keen to get into a position where I can work with people just so that I can have some company, have some literal company in my business. So that's one thing. Also, social media is such that you're working not just 9 to 5, but potentially 24/7. And so the way that you use your time, taking down time, making sure that you're sleeping properly, making sure you're looking after yourself is also very important. The way that I structure my day has evolved over time, but now I've come up with a model that sort of works. So I think of the 24 hours of the day as being split into 8/8.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or two sets of like 4 quarters. So if we start from midnight, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, and 6 to 9, that's time for sleep and being in bed. 9 to 12, I exercise and I do kind of personal admin. 12 to 6, I'm working. 6 to 9 is eating and kind of chilling. And then 9 to 12 again is reading, getting ready for bed. So I try and allocate stuff to like zones in the day. I used to set myself task of doing things at a specific time. Like, I'm going to go to the gym at this time. And that was like very pressurizing for me, because if I missed that time, then it will be like, oh, I'm a
failure.
I've failed it. But if I go, do you know what? This is what this 3-hour period of my day is dedicated towards, then that gives you a lot more leeway. So that's just some of the things I've been doing to just structure my time and use it well.
Just talking about that as well. So one thing that is for sure, when you are running a business, exactly what you just said, there's no manager to say, hey, have you done this? Where's the deadline? There's no meeting. There's no official meeting that someone's going to say, where's the papers or whatever. And so in terms of being disciplined with time, it is so important. You have to be the kind of person who will get up and do it because you want to do it, not because someone is whipping you behind. And I like what you say, that relieving yourself of the pressure of, okay, 9 to 9:30, like being so specific, but actually giving yourself a window so that way you can phase in and out of the different things that you're doing, and relieve the pressure. And I will definitely agree in terms of the social media world. In lockdown, I don't even know how I was alive, because I think I literally was up 24 hours a day. I remember working all night, multiple times. Obviously, this was in the early stages of my business, so I felt that it was necessary, and I am reaping the rewards of it. But I remember literally working all night, going to bed at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, waking up at like 9 o'clock, having a quick shower, brushing my teeth, and logging onto my laptop for my 9 to 5 at 9:30.
So when you get into that mode, it's almost like you're awake and sleep is kind of like a long blink, and then you're awake again.
Literally.
And you do go a bit
and
crazy.
then all the days just run into one.
Yeah, they just all mesh into one.
And yeah, it isn't good.
The stay-at-home orders we got, looking back, were actually quite serious. I listened to a podcast in the last week, and it said that one of the most important things you can do at the start of the day to literally tell your body, okay, it's time to wake up now, is to get sunlight into your eyeballs at the start of the day. And if you don't do it, then chemically and neurologically, you're not set up for that day. And just think about how many people weren't doing that when we were staying at home. It's weird to think about the pandemic because it's in the past, but it's just weird to
so much of a
still dealing with the repercussions.
Literally. So let's talk about that. So you are in the middle of a pandemic, you're running your business, your follow account is growing every day, so technically more people know you. Do you feel like you know more people?
No, not at all, because it's kind of, they're just numbers on a screen, right? And you'll have people that I'm very, very grateful for, who will like your content, they'll share it, they'll comment. But again, those people, unless you've met them in person, are just a handle or just whatever their display picture happens to be. And this year and last year, I've started to make it out to events. And most events I go to, I'll have someone be like, Timi. And then I'll be like, who are you?
Strange, right?
I literally won't know who they are. Tell me your handle. Okay, fine. Yeah, we spoke on DMs at that time. So I've really enjoyed, since COVID has kind of become less of a thing, going out and meeting people in person. Real life is where it's at. Real life is very, very important. There would be no online if people didn't do things offline and take pictures and videos and then post it online.
Exactly. And I think, like, even with this like generation, or this, I say this generation, we're part of it, but even the younger ones coming up, there is definitely this tendency that, if you're not online and big online, then you're nowhere and you're nobody. But like you say, in reality, you need the offline to have the online, basically.
Until AI takes over, which it will.
Let's not get into that.
and the internet just creates itself.
And creates fake pictures and puts, anyway. It is scary. But you do need the reality, and exactly what you're saying. So there's a proverb that says, an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go with others. How would you relate that to your business? And would you agree with that? How have you seen that playing out in your business and in your life? Yeah,
so I would say through working alone, I've done the go quickly bit, but I need to transition to going far bit. I've experienced a lot of growing pains in the business, particularly this past 6 months, where I've had periods of feeling demotivated, overwhelmed, kind of like how you described yourself feeling in lockdown. And I've recently started working with my cousin. He now comes to events and films me, and he helps me to edit stuff as well. And it made me realize the reason why I've been feeling so bad is I've been trying to do everything myself. And I haven't really been able to let go of perfectionism and I've wanted to control everything, and it's just not possible. The volume of work now is not such that I can do it by myself, nor should I.
Yeah.
I can't go to an event, be on stage, and be
film
filming
yourself.
myself. That's impossible.
Yeah.
And so it's been really, really cool to spend time with my cousin Ayo. He's 3 months
Shout
older
out.
than me. Yeah, Ayo Midday. He's 3 months older than me. So we're really close in age, but he was always in the year above because the cutoff's in September. But even just this week, we took a trip up to Manchester together. We realized we're both 33 years old. This is our first time leaving London together as cousins. So I've really, forget the money, forget the work and stuff. It's just been nice to be with someone and to spend time with them. And then he's not, the first person I've started working with, because of course I work with you. I very much consider you a member of my team, or the team. I work with a literary agent, a talent agent. So there is this network of people who I work with. But I think the thing for me now is after 3-4 years of doing this, the next stage is bringing in people, creating a team and going far, not just going quick.
Yeah.
Because you go quick, you might crash.
Exactly. And I think that's what many of us did. And don't get me wrong, there was definitely benefits from the going quick, going alone. But I definitely would agree with you that having a team is where it's at for sustainability and for longevity of any business, of any company. When we talk about the typical ones, Amazon, Coca-Cola, whatever, McDonald's, they are who they are because there are loads of people, thousands, hundreds of thousands probably, of people who do everything from cleaning to, the thinking, to strategy, to everything in between, to machinery and all of that. So if we're hoping for such success, then we need to be like that.
The thing is, there were some mindset shifts that I had to have around my business, which I still am dealing with actually, due to work that I've done in therapy and through coaching. I actually realized that I didn't think that I had a proper job for a long time.
That is something. That is something.
For a very long time.
I'm internally taking that in for myself as well.
I didn't think I had a proper job because, particularly in lockdown, I was just posting stuff on the internet. And I was raised in a household where, like, if I was doing the thing I was supposed to do, I'd become a lawyer or do some sort of other profession.
Yeah, be an accountant.
But I had something that was kind of, even like now, sometimes I say, Mr. Manager doesn't feel like a job. It just feels like a side hustle that went too far. And I need to tell myself that it's actually, no, this is your full-time thing. So for a long time, and the way that this manifested was very interesting. I would find it difficult to send invoices to clients because I didn't feel like I deserved to be paid the money.
Yeah.
And I go through periods of like, oh, I'm really excited to be working. And then, oh, should I even be doing this?
It's real, yeah.
So with that mindset, I didn't necessarily feel like I was the sort of person that could hire someone or work with someone. And I had to do a lot of work on my self-love and my self-worth to feel like I was doing something that was worthwhile.
So as your accountant, and you told them, not me, I can definitely confirm that he has a job because the amount you're earning from your business is more than some people's annual salary, right? Probably twice.
It's more than I've ever earned.
Some people's annual salary.
It's more than I've ever earned in a job.
So you are working, you have a job. And I think that's a very important thing, like you say, and background has an important part to play. Because if you do grow up in a household where actually, so someone like my mum is a nurse, unless you get up, put a uniform on and go somewhere, you're not working, right? That's what they consider work, the physical aspect. And so it's like you sitting on a laptop all day, in your mind, it's like, is that good enough?
Yeah.
Is that really work?
There were also some really bizarre moments, Benedicta, where in 2020, I did a series of Sky interviews.
Yes.
In one of them, I'm wearing a shirt and suit jacket up top, and I'm wearing pajama bottoms and slippers underneath.
Yeah.
There's a picture that I hope never sees the light of day doing that. So I'm doing all this financial stuff and I'm in slippers. I'm in like literally Tesco value slippers. And so it
is work.
It's
if
work.
Someone is willing, from a business point of view, I love business. I'm all about business. I always say, if at least one person is willing to pay you for what you're offering, whether that's a physical product or a service, you have a business.
Yeah, no, it is fundamentally, and I've taken this from our conversations and from learning from you. It is about providing value to people
Yep.
And all it means is that the ways in which that's done are changing. Traditionally,
Exactly.
you'd be in a factory, then an office, or
Yeah.
in a field or something. And now it is digital and it is remote. And I actually found out in the last couple of weeks, because I'm signed up to the Office for National Statistics newsletter. They have lots of cool tools and calculators, and they sent round a how many people do your job calculator. So I went into it, I put in the word influencer. I don't really like to call myself an influencer, I like to go with content creator, but we put in the word influencer. And in England and Wales, there are 47,000 people with a job under the banner of actor, presenter, or entertainer. And that includes newer media jobs like YouTuber and social media influencer. So it's actually, by government official standards, like a job.
An official job, exactly. And you're being paid to do it, and you're adding value, and people keep on coming back, right? I think that's another thing, like one hit wonder. There are some, some fads that come, but if you've been doing this for years and years, you've got customers who keep on coming back. You are definitely in the business. And I think, like you say, it's that space of actually it's not a side hustle on steroids. It is a limited company. We pay taxes. You pay taxes, a lot of taxes for the money that you earn. So, just like, anybody else is able to take up their space, you are able to take up your space. Mr. Money Jar is able to take up its space. So talking about the whole relationship side of things. Now, you talked about, you're enjoying getting out there, meeting people, even things like this, right? And we've got other people in the room, like, talking to people, having real conversations. How are you planning to continue doing that into the future for the future of your business, basically?
Yeah. So on the going quick point, I think one of the things that's helped me to behave in a more sustainable way is to remember the vision that I had when I started this. When I started this in 2019, 2020, I always said it was going to be a 10-year project. So for as long as money is coming in, I'm going to continue doing it until I'm 40. I'm 33 now. And when you are in the day-to-day, it can feel like, I need to get back to this email really quickly. I need to post yet another thing. You can get really in your own head. But when you zoom out and you go, actually, I have 10 years to make an impact and to do the thing that I want to do. So you may still try and do the day-to-day stuff and hit the milestones, but you also realize that you're taking things 1 year at a time. A year made up of 4 quarters. I like to set quarterly goals, and then you just break down those goals into like the months and weeks. So over the next 10 years, how would I like to continue developing? I would like to just continue offering as much value as I can, reach as many people as possible. And I like looking at what other people are doing in the ecosystem as well. And I think the value that I seem to be providing, I think, is around financial education. Been very lucky to work more and more with young people. I gave a Q&A in front of 100-year-8s the other day. And I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking about my youngest brother, who's 17 now. And how are those people going to learn about money? In an increasingly changing world. When I was a kid, well, when we were both kids, what was it? It was 40p and 70p. 40p for children to get on the bus and 70p for adults. And you drop your thing on the tray and they take the thing. Now you can pay for the bus with your phone. So goodness knows what it's going to be like in 20, 30 years time. You'll probably beep your forehead or something.
That is, honestly, it's crazy. And I would say that it's even more reason why you need to connect with other people. Because like you say, if you're on your own and you're not having those conversations, you're not developing, you are basically becoming stagnant. And actually, in a world that is continuing to go forward, stagnancy is the same as retrogression, right? We talk about how, sorry to be technical, but we talk about how, wages have not increased. Wages can sometimes increase, but if inflation is higher than the amount that your wage is increasing, although your wage appears to be increasing numbers wise, in value wise, it's not, right? It's actually going backwards. And so from an educational, from a business point of view, from a relationship point of view, I would definitely say that the value is also in connecting with these younger people whose minds are like, they get stuff so quickly because they are literally born into this.
The children alive today are the most technologically advanced, switched on and connected generation. to have ever existed.
Literally.
The questions that they were asking me, the very first question was, so what are we going to do about inflation?
In year 8?
In year 8.
Wow.
This is a 12, 13-year-old.
Wow.
And I had to clear my throat and go,
I didn't expect that.
I mean, they asked about the impacts of cashlessness in society. There were questions about cryptocurrency. There were questions about credit scores. Because whereas when we were younger, we were young enough to remember life before the internet. You're like, oh, how old is that celebrity? I don't know. Let's go back to watching TV. Now they can search it up. They can actually get a video explaining to them. So investing into that generation is really key, I think.
And connecting with them. So one of the things that I found for my business is also hiring, quote unquote, the support of such people, because what I realize is, and there's another proverb, sorry to be so proverbial, but there's another proverb that talks about, you know, what a young person lacks it, basically bringing the fact that an older person has much more experience. Although the younger person might be faster, right? They don't have 10 years of experience, and vice versa. I might have loads of years of experience, but maybe I'm not as fast on the internet or whatever, right? And I've definitely found a place whereby when I'm hiring people, yes, I might be paying them, or some of them might be volunteering, but I see it as me giving my experience and them also helping me with their technological savviness kind of thing. And so I think in terms of the going far bit, you know, such partnerships are really good. They work a lot. And I definitely have, you know, the people that assist me saying, oh, I've learned so much. Oh, this is so great to be part of this. They don't even realize I'm learning from them.
Yeah, I love the fact that you said that, because I was going to say, how do you see the exchange of value? It should really be a mutual exchange of value, I think, because yes, you're sharing your experience, but they're growing up. The stuff that we consider, like, we remember going on the internet, right? You sign onto the modem, it's like, like the phone is like engaged, but there are people for whom like the internet is just here. You want to listen to a song, all the songs are just there. And we have a lot to learn from them. I try to be a net listener in every situation I can, or as many situations I can be in. And I also try to be, if I can, like the least clever person in the room, just 100. So that I can, and that includes from young people. The other thing that fascinates me about that generation is that they're going to live into the next century.
That's true.
Like any children that are being born now are going to live into the 22nd century.
Yeah.
Goodness knows what iPhone's going to be out
I've
then.
never thought about that. You think so far? I
zoom out a lot.
Yeah.
So there's stuff we can learn from them.
You're not planning to live into the next century?
We'll see. We'll see what happens with AI and blockchain
and all those kinds of things there. Honestly. One last thing before we round up. What would be your advice to anyone who wants to be in business or wants to be a financial content creator? Maybe not financial, a content creator, and, you know, have business in that kind of sphere. Just from your experience, from what you've learned over the years, what would your advice to them be?
You should just focus on doing what you love.
Yeah.
You should really focus on doing what you love, because life is long and stuff gets boring. So if you focus on doing what you love, you'll still continue to do it even when things get tough.
Yeah.
And in this global community, this global village we live in, the rate of change in society today is so much so that there are more data points being generated than there are hours in the day to learn them. So the reason why you have a job, why I have a job, is because when people want to know how money works, when people know how accounting works, they're like, I don't have the time to learn that, but I know this person is trustworthy and authentic and dedicates all their time to learning that. So if you just specialize in anything, it could be literally anything, and you're able to speak to people, whether it's in front of a camera or an audience of people, and communicate your passion and your knowledge and your expertise for that, of course people want to pay you. Of course people are going to want to engage with you. Focus on what you love. The money will follow.
Yes, amen to that. Thank you so much. It's been so lovely talking with you, and hopefully we get to do this again another time soon.
I'd love to. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.